2 weeks ago, Paralyzed stopped being a game people were waiting for and became a game people had to actually have an opinion about, which is a very different thing. Because for years, Paralyzed lived in the future. Trailers, dev updates, wishlist conversations, people imagining what it might become, people hoping it would be the life simulation game that finally gave them something new to build with, something new to tell stories in, something new to obsess over at 1 a.m. when they should absolutely be asleep. And now it's here. The game launched, the roadmap dropped, it sold 250,000 copies in 8 hours. The soundtrack came out, the collaborations were already there, the players started finding bugs, a lot of bugs, and through all of it, the team kept responding, a lot. So, I don't think this video is really about whether Paralyzed had a perfect launch. It didn't. I think it's about what happens when a game crosses the line between anticipation and reality. Because 2 weeks later, Paralives makes more sense to me, not because it's finished, not because every problem is solved, but because now we can finally see what it actually is. A real early access life simulation game, messy, promising, a little chaotic, and being shaped in public while everyone watches, which is brave and also terrifying because early access is basically letting thousands of people walk into your unfinished house and immediately start opening drawers. Couldn't be me. But that's kind of the point. This was not the moment Paralyzed became complete. This was the moment it became real. Alongside the launch, the team shared a roadmap with hotfixes, quality of life updates, performance improvements, bug fixes, and bigger additions coming later, like weather, seasons, pets, pools, and more. So the message was clear. This is where the game is now, but this isn't where the game is gonna stay. And I think that matters because expectation can definitely be a little bit weird. When people wait years for a game, they aren't just waiting for the game, they're waiting for the version of the game they built in their heads. And imaginary games are always perfect. Imaginary games never crash. Imaginary games never corrupt our saves. Imaginary games never have pathfinding issues that trap our tiny, beloved characters in corners like they're being punished by the architecture for all eternity. Imaginary games have firefighters show up on time every time and save the day. Must be nice. But real games have systems, bugs, design choices, trade-offs, and suddenly the question changes from what do we hope Paralyzed will be to what is Paralyzed actually becoming? At launch, the celebration was real. The official soundtrack release, the launch collaborations were already waiting for players, including Among Us, Outbound, and Kitfox games, so our powers could play those games on the computer, collect new stamps, and get new collab items, which is such a cute little detail. It made the launch feel less like a quiet early access release and more like a community celebration, years in the making, like everyone finally opened the front door and went, okay, we're actually doing this now. But then reality comes a-knocking like an unwelcome guest who brought potato salad with raisins and has shoes on your lovely new carpet. Because once thousands of players got their hands on the game, they started finding things. Crashes, save problems, pathfinding bugs, fire problems, UI issues, parafolks getting stuck constantly. The kind of stuff that sounds scary when you list it all out at once. And to be fair, for some players, that was frustrating. That's valid. Because when you pay for a game, even an early access game, you still want it to work. You still want to play. You still want your save to survive the now probably over 1,000 hours you put into it. Bare minimum, honestly. Let our powers keep their houses. Gosh darn it, they've been through enough. But at the same time, this is also the reality of big life simulation games launching in early access. Life sims are complicated. The game has to understand the room, the object, the routing, the character, the animation, the other characters, the timing, and apparently the fire that may or may not have started because someone touched the stove with confidence they absolutely didn't earn. There are a lot of tiny systems trying to talk to each other. But I also think the reaction is about something else. Expectation whiplash. Because yes, Paralyzed is a life simulation game. You build homes, make paras, manage needs, create relationships, tell stories, but it does not always feel like the exact kind of life sim people expected. It has some RPG-ish social systems underneath. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it in a, oh, this explains why some of this feels different kind of way. Sometimes Paralyzed doesn't feel like it's only asking, what do I, the player, want to make this character do? Sometimes it feels like it's asking, what would this pair do based on who they are? And that's a different question. If you came in expecting one kind of life sim, some choices might feel restrictive. But if you look at it as a life simulation game with RPG-ish social systems, some of those choices start making more sense. Not perfect, not finished, but more understandable. So now the question isn't, can they fix the bugs? The question is, can they make this version of life simulation feel deep enough for people to keep telling their stories in? And the first 2 weeks already show how public this process is going to be. Instead of going quiet, the team kept communicating. Known issue posts went up. Players submitted feedback, a lot of feedback. By the time patch 0.1.2 rolled out, the team said they already received over 150 bug reports and suggestions, which is a ridiculous number. That's not a feedback form anymore. That's a town meeting with snacks, folding chairs, and at least 3 people asking questions that were already answered. But the point is, players weren't just complaining into the void, they were helping shape the game, because just 4 days after launch, we got patch 0.1.2, which brought memory improvements, save improvements, pathfinding fixes, fire fixes, faster loading, interface fixes, and a long list of smaller changes. Then on June 3rd, the team shared another known issues update, covering save file issues, Mac input problems, parafolks getting stuck, and fire being hard to control. The not so glamorous stuff, the stuff that doesn't look cute in a trailer, but absolutely matters when people are trying to actually play the game, because no one is starting their 10-gen family legacy if the save file is fighting for its life. Priorities. Then on June 5th, the team teased something fun for Wholesome Direct, and on June 6th, the Unpacking collaboration was announced. Honestly, a perfect fit. Unpacking is all about how objects tell stories, how a room can say something about who a person is becoming. So, seeing this collaboration with Paralives made sense. And with patch 0.1.3, the collab officially came into the game. Your parrot can now play Unpacking on the computer, collect new Unpacking stamps, and decorate with new Unpacking plushies and objects. That same patch brought more improvements, including group meals, teen romance, object fading accessibility, save stability, Steam Workshop mod fixes, pathfinding fixes, fire fixes, and visual fixes. More fixes, more improvements, more communication. Not because the game is finished or anything, because it's not, but because improvements are the priority. And that is the whole point. Early access is not just a launch, it's the beginning of a very strange, very public, and very collaborative adventure, and the Paralives community seems ready. Bags packed, shoes on, snacks in the car, no turning back. Within days, players had already uploaded thousands of creations to the Steam Workshop. Mods, custom content, builds, gameplay tweaks, little ideas layered on top of the foundation the developers created. People were not just playing Paralives, they were already helping shape what it's becoming next. And that's why, 2 weeks later, I don't think the biggest story is the sales number. Even though 250,000 copies in 8 hours is crazy wild and amazing, I don't think the biggest story is the bugs, even though those matter. I don't think the biggest story is even the collaborations, even though they are so cute and perfect. I just want to squeeze my computer monitor. I think the story is that Paralives crossed the line between anticipation and reality. For years, it was a game people imagined playing someday. Now it's a game people are actively shaping every day. Messy, yes. Imperfect, absolutely, but alive. And maybe that's why Paralives makes so much more sense to me now. It's not a finished, altered, multi-dimensional world. It's just the beginning of one. A life simulation game that may not be trying to be exactly the life sim that people are used to or know, but something a little different, something character-driven, something still finding its shape, and something that finally has room to prove what it can and will become. So, before I go, I'm curious, what has surprised you most during Paralives' first 2 weeks? The launch, the bugs, the updates, the Steam Workshop, the collaborations, the RPG-ish social system, or just the fact that after all this waiting, we can finally say Paralives is actually here? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe. But no pressure, you have free will after all, and I can't tell you what to do. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and remember, keep creating freely, thinking deeply, and sharing honestly. Until next time, Channel Surfers, happy living and cozy gaming. Okay, Bye! You guys, Paralysis is really real. 2 weeks down and a whole lot more to come. Oh, and YouTube thinks you're gonna like this video. Give it a try, or don't. I can't tell you what to do, but maybe you trust your algorithm?